Hey everyone, Wolf Rose Gaming here. I hope everyone had a good Christmas holiday, and if you didn't, that's okay because it's just a day. It's a one day out of the year. It's just another day. But in today's video, I wanted to talk about Halo Infinite. This is a game that I've been wanting to talk about for a while, and I was putting it off because I wanted to beat the campaign first so I could have a complete impression of it. But playing the campaign is taking longer than I thought I would. One, because I'm so OCD, I want to collect everything in the game and complete all the side objectives on the map. And two, I'm also really addicted to the multiplayer of Halo Infinite, which I'll get to in another video, that it's just taken me much longer to complete the campaign than I thought it would. But I am this is the most fun I've had in a Halo game. I think between all the Halo games, this is the most fun I've had in it. I was really hesitant about the open world before this game came out. I was so used to the level structure of past Halo games that I wasn't sure how this game would feel. And even when this game came out and I hadn't played it yet, my friend Tom had played it. And he was telling me how the map was filled with kind of these copy and paste objectives like you see in Assassin's Creed games. I was really negative of it. I didn't think this was going to be a game that I was going to like or enjoy. But coming into it and playing it, I actually really, really enjoy it. It reminds me of like with Gears 5, it had that semi-open world. I enjoyed that a lot. And this also, too, kind of has a semi-open world. You have your main mission scattered throughout the map, but then you have your side objectives as well. And yes, they are pretty much copy and paste, like in Assassin's Creed games. So, sometimes it can become old after a while. But I kind of think of it as like a little break in between the main missions. The main missions are really good, and then you have these side objectives to complete. And completing them does give you certain rewards, like if you complete the objective with taking down a certain boss enemy, or a certain, I guess not a boss enemy, but a high target enemy with a larger amount of health. If you take them down, you can get these different weapon variants. If you capture bases and destroy outposts, you can get Valor points and unlock things like the Wasp, the flying vehicle, or you unlock different variations of vehicles. You unlock different Marines. And then throughout the map, there's Spartan cores, which upgrade your equipment. And there's the armor lockers, which unlock cosmetic options in multiplayer, which is really neat. So, yes, there may be copy and paste objectives, but at least that you get something out of it. You're not just doing it just for the sake of having a checklist. And it really does add to the story and lore of the game, because throughout the world you're collecting these audio logs, which expands on the lore. And when you're destroying these outposts, you're destroying really important locations that are vital to the Banish's army. So you're taking those down, which is part of the main objective anyway, is to take down the Banished. But yeah, I'm just really, really, I'm repeating myself, but I just love this game so much. I don't mind completing the objectives and unlocking everything because it's just so much fun. This is essentially a Halo playground. There's so much room for experimentation and different ways to play, that there's just so much variety with the amount of weapons that you can unlock and just the vehicles you can use, just the different ways you can use your equipment. Like the grappling hook, that really needs its own assigned button, because that just changes Halo gameplay and movement completely. You can go anywhere with this grappling hook. You can scale mountains. It reminds me of Breath of the Wild. You see a mountain really tall, you can climb it. You can just keep grappling. If you upgrade your grappling hook, which isn't going to take long, you can just grapple all the way up to the top of the mountain. Sometimes it's just so much faster and easier to just grapple everywhere than it is taking a vehicle. And it's just so much fun to use, and you can stun enemies with it, and you can grab onto vehicles with it, like say an enemy's driving a Ghost. You can use your grappling hook to grab onto it or grab onto a banshee from the sky. You can grab weapons. There's just so much you can do with it. It kind of leaves the other equipment, in the dusk. You have like the sensor, the threat sensor. You have the shield that you can put down on the ground that blocks, oncoming projectiles. And you have the thruster. I actually found myself switching between them. I thought I was solely going to use the grappling hook, but I found myself switching between them a lot. I actually really like the threat sensor. When you upgrade it, you can see all the enemies' health bars, and you can see all the enemies outlined in red around you. And it's fun to just take down all their health bars and take down all the enemies that you see. Like if you're sniping, you just throw a threat sensor down, and you can see all the enemies in these bright red outlines, and just snipe them all. And then the shield I also use on the ground for those like high target enemies. I use it to block their projectiles. It gets really funny as you progress in the game. You unlock these really powerful weapons that when you go to these high target enemies, you can just take them out in like a couple of seconds. Like with the Sentinel Beam, you'll actually see it in this gameplay here. I just took out a high target, 2 high targets in like a couple seconds. But yeah, it's just so much fun. There's just so much variety, so many different ways to approach different locations and complete objectives. The story itself, I'm really enjoying. It reminds me of the whole atmosphere and the whole world gameplay just reminds me of Halo 1 because you're exploring Zeta Halo. You're exploring this ring world full of mystery. There's stranded Marines. You're mixed all these alien enemies. I haven't encountered that many Promethean enemies. Which is fine because the Promethean enemies were the most aggravating enemies in Halo 4 and 5. But so far, I'm liking this story a lot better than I did in 5. I feel like there's much more at stake. I feel like that, I didn't know that if they were going... This entire trilogy, Halo... And I'm kind of going off on a tangent here, but this entire trilogy, Halo 4, Halo 5, Halo Infinite, has had kind of just a weird story. It's not really connected well, like in Halo 1 through 3. There's not really been this long overarching story. It's kind of been like separate entities. Like Halo 4, you were taking down the Didact. Halo 5, you were trying to get Cortana back. And you kept fighting this one boss over and over. I can't remember its name, but... and now with Halo Infinite, you're taking down the Banished. And as I'm progressing through the story, I do see how they're connecting it to the other Halo games with Cortana and with the Forerunners, because the Forerunners have been, a major part of this. I guess this Reclaimer saga, whatever they're calling it, that 343 is trying to tell. I'm still not a big fan of the whole overarching story that they're trying to tell. It doesn't make much sense to me, and it feels like you have to kind of go do other things other than play the games to find out the story. I think you have to play Halo Wars 2 just to know more about the Banished, really. But I mean, that's not really a big concern. I am enjoying the story and the mysteries that I'm learning about. I really want to know more about what's going on with Cortana, and I like Weapon. The Weapon AI, she's pretty funny. She reminds me a lot of the Master Chief Cortana banter that was critically missing in Halo 5, because that's really what made Halo special, was your bond with Cortana. And Halo 4 really showed that relationship between them. Yeah, but Weapon, the AI that Master Chief has in this one brings it back. Also like the character that Master Chief is helping. I forget his name, but he's a good character. I like him. I think he does add to the story pretty well. I do like exploring Zeta Halo. The environments are pretty much the same forest, water, mountain type. I do wish there was a little bit more variety with the locations. Even when you go inside these Forerunner structures, they're all essentially the same kind of environment. It reminds me of like the Halo 1 environments, where everything was inside was pretty much the same copy and paste. It's like that with these Forerunners structures as well. You're kind of doing the same things in them over and over. The variety really lies in with the gameplay and the fighting, much more than the environments. I really wish that when I played the multiplayer before the campaign was ready, and I saw the different multiplayer maps, I thought some of those environments would be in the campaign, but none of them are. There's some pretty cool multiplayer maps like Behemoth, where you're in that little desert place, or you're in the bazaar. So they have some really cool multiplayer maps, and none of those are seen in the campaign. It would have been nice to have like kind of like a desert area, or maybe like a snowy area. But it's not a big complaint. I just wish there was a little bit more variety over than just the same mountains and trees over and over again. I guess you could say the same thing with the side objectives. I wish there was a little bit more variety with that, even though it's fun to do it. When you unlock an outpost, you just see the same fortresses pop up and the same high target enemies. And I wish there was some side quests available that kind of dig deeper more into the lore, other than just getting the audio logs. I feel like maybe the campaign possibly was rushed in that way. I'm not sure. I know the game was delayed, but I feel like the delay was to fix the graphics, just because of how bad the reception was when this game was initially shown off. But yeah, this playground style of fighting and gameplay, again, is not something that I thought I would like from a Halo game. I mean, the past Halo, and not that I mean that I don't like the variety of ways that you can fight. I just meant I was so used to that narrow level structure that you saw in the past Halo games. I didn't know if I would like this one. But it's really good. I'm really enjoying it. I'm running out of things to say about it. That's why I keep repeating myself. But yeah, overall, I think it is a really great Halo game. I haven't finished the story yet, so I can't give my final thoughts on, the story as a whole. But I am enjoying the campaign and the open world more than I thought I would. And I'm definitely going to make another video about the multiplayer, because the multiplayer is a lot of fun as well. And 343 has done a lot since they first launched it to fix the criticisms towards it, with the unlocking of the cosmetic and the challenges. But yeah, overall, great Halo game. I'm really enjoying it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you have a good holiday. Thanks.